there was an occasion where we had all come outside and a guest on the tour asked if she could step back in and take another photo. And I said, well, sure, that's okay. Owner was waiting there for us to leave. And I stepped in alongside of her, so it was just the two of us and the owner. She snaps a picture. There's absolutely no one in the building but us three.
No.
On her photograph, when we looked at her picture, there is a man standing behind the owner. And if you take the photograph this woman took years and years between the difference and put them side by side and look at them, looks like the same guy.
Deep in the heart of East Texas lies the town of Jefferson, rich with history, legend, and more than a few ghost stories. Guiding you on the town's historic Jefferson Ghost Walk is a local historian and teacher named Jodi Breckenridge. A skeptic at heart, she leads with history first and ghost stories second. But during our interview, Jodi showed us something extraordinary. Raw, photographic images that seem to defy explanation. Pictures so compelling, they challenge her skepticism and force us to ask, if someone like Jodi Breckenridge can't dismiss what she's seen, how can anyone?
That looked like a little girl in leotard, white leotards.
Like I tell everybody, it's not a ghost story unless you know why it's a ghost story. Well, I think that everything that we talk about has to be researched through court records, legal documents, newspapers. You got to know the real history behind a location to understand why it could be haunted. And once you learn some of that history, you find out that some of them are probably haunted for very good reason.
So you don't just say, hey, I'm going to be the ghost tour person and tell a couple stories and embellish. You actually do your research.
We do the research.
Have you ever seen a picture you believe?
I have seen some pictures, I believe, because I've been standing there when the picture was taken. And one is at this con. It was back in the old days when the building was actually the old dusty, dark, dilapidated location before renovation work, and we'd go in every weekend and go through. And there was an occasion where we had all come outside and a guest on the tour asked if she could step back in and take another photo. And I said, well, sure, that's okay. Owner was waiting there for us to leave. And I stepped in alongside of her, so it was just the two of us and the owner. She snaps a picture. There's absolutely no one in the building but us three.
No.
On her photograph, when we looked at her picture, there is a man standing behind the owner. Very tall man. This guy's 6 feet tall. The owner's 6 feet tall. So this guy had to be at least 6'4".
Wow.
You can see the beard, shape of his face. I mean, It's crazy. And what makes this story even more interesting is on Christmas Eve, 1872, a man by the name of James Wardell Gorman was shot and killed on the corner outside of this building. His body was carried across the street to the Jefferson Hotel, where he was pronounced deceased. I had a lady bring me the book on this man's murder. This was her great-great-grandfather. And all the research I had done, I'd always heard this story, but I had never seen portrait photograph drawing of what this man looked like.
I think I know where
She
this is
gave
going.
me a picture, yes, and you can, when you look at this picture, of course he was dressed like everybody in 1872 would have been. And if you take the photograph this woman took years and years between the difference and put them side by side and look at them, looks like the same guy. So funny, I get in the car after the tour sometimes, and it's one of those what I call woo nights where something weird or strange has happened. And I'll get in the car and I'll start driving, and it's dark and it may be foggy or something. I'm like, okay, there is no way in the world I'm gonna look in my rearview mirror and have somebody riding a shotgun in the back seat with me on the way home. I have too big imagination. But there have been times where I had a guy from, I want to say he was from New York. He went on the tour with us one night years ago, and at the end of the tour, he came up to me and he said, I just want to let you know, you're hitting the nail on the head at these places. And I said, well, yeah, I've done my research. And he said, no, he said, I'm a sensitive and I feel things and see things. And he said, you're nailing it. And I said, that's interesting. I appreciate you letting me know. And he said, you do know you had 3 that followed you tonight. I said, 3 what?
3 what?
He said, you had 3 following you tonight.
So the old Schluter house.
Oh, Schluter House, beautiful old house at the top of the hill.
Yeah,
In fact, the people that built that are the ones that built the Jefferson Hotel.
Okay.
Or owned the Jefferson Hotel at one time. I shouldn't say built, but they did own it at one time. But we have a fantastic picture taken about midnight one night, about 5 minutes to midnight. A little girl in white leotards walking right in front of the house. And if I had not been with the people when the picture was taken, I would have thought it was one of those rigged photos.
Wow. So you have seen and heard a lot of this, and you are a skeptic, and you do not believe in ghosts, or did not believe in
Did
ghosts.
not believe in ghosts.
And now you...
Like I say, I'm a little more open-minded
Is that...
because I've experienced things and I've seen things that, try as I might, that I cannot find those logical explanations for.
So why do you think then that towns like Jefferson and Globe have such a concentration of ghosts, whereas other
Right.
yeah, it's, you know, there's a
Again,
building over there.
Yeah. Again, I think it has a lot to do with how much of that's left there is old. I mean, look at all the old buildings and the old houses here. There's new stuff mingled in, but
Yeah, that's true.
most of it's old. And a lot of people, of course, when you get real scientific, I don't get into all this, but you know, some people believe that places where water comes to a point, certain types of rocks and stone, things are more active. And I don't know if that has anything to play into it, or if it's just the fact that it is an old town where things have pretty much just stayed the same.